just finished editing the video for the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover. Overall, I had a really good time. This was a really, really interesting and visually amazing movie. I genuinely really loved it. I think I would like to watch more movies like this. I said previously that I definitely would like to watch more sort of indie or art house films and stuff like that. So if you guys have any ideas or know any movies that you think, oh, he should definitely watch this one, please, please, please let me know. I'm always happy to watch an interesting or weird movie. The weirder the better, in fact. With that being said, I'll get right into it. I like the contrast of these dogs eating bones. We don't know if it's like human bones or just like beef bones or whatever, but it does set a very interesting standard of what is, I'm assuming, going to be a very weird film, juxtaposed with like this very beautiful orchestral music as you're watching just group of dogs, sort of signifying some sort of carnage or weirdness that is set for the film. It's a very interesting way to start a movie. So I can't really tell, and it's still very obviously early in the film, but I can't tell if they've set this up to be a stage play within the movie due to all the scenery, the background. Like, obviously this is happening on a stage and the dogs were eating under the scaffolding of the stage.
I never liked that Chinese food, but looking at you now, I like it even less. Right, boys, we must surprise.
A very easy way to make me absolutely hate a character almost immediately is just make them rich and kind of a jerk. Like, they can even be mildly a jerk, and I will absolutely detest their existence and hope they die. I hope this character dies a very painful death. I absolutely love seeing villains get punished in things because, like, it's the only time that evil people actually see any or face any sort of justice. It could completely ruin a piece of media, whether a TV show or movie, for me, if they set up this person to be evil and they completely throw all of that away and they give them a terrible character arc. Do not give this person a terrible character arc. If it's done right, it's done right, you know? But it is very rare, I won't say rare, but it is not as common as I would like for stories to set up someone be terrible and then give them a justifiable character arc where they're now not an asshole. Because I'm all about redemption in real life, but in stories, nah. You piss on me, I'm putting a bomb under your car.
I've smelt the loo after you've been piddling in there. When are you gonna learn, smart ass?
They did a really good job of making him an absolute asshole. It was already enough, the fact that like he sort of pissed on this dude, he like rubbed dog food on him or something like that, and had him naked and humiliated him in every possible way, in a very graphic kind of way. But to also make him like this rich, pompous asshole who's a sexist, sort of misogynist, is kind of like, of course, kind of thing. It would be more surprising if he was actually a loving and kind husband. But I do think they did a really good job of like really showing that this dude's an asshole. He is detestable. He is not someone to be like, put that in your mind kind of thing. I love this shot of them sort of walking across this continuous set design kind of thing. Like, I thought earlier that like it might have been like it's like a stage play kind of thing, and I think that's what they're going for, and I absolutely love it because I love theater and stage plays and stuff like that. But like this one sort of continuous shot of us walking along with Georgia or Georgie or whatever his name is, along with his wife, and I don't know what it is about it, like it just does this very phenomenal job of making you feel like a fly on the wall. I don't know why, but it has this vibe of A Christmas Carol, like Scrooge and everything like that. Like, I don't know, it just has this vibe that I'm really like fucking with.
Got an arse on, I like 2 greased watermelons and a sack.
Called chicken, but
Yoink.
you put them electrics right, Mitchell. Put them electrics right, or
He was in the Hulk movie, wasn't he? He was Abomination.
say, George? What did you say? What did you say? What did you say?
Poisson.
They're doing such a good job of making him just this absolute troglodyte villain. This is how you write someone who's meant to be despicable. I think when a lot of people write characters who are supposed to be bad, and there's room for this in media, but like they just have them do vile things like physical violence or sexual abuse or something like that, or just like a lot of verbal abuse. But like the way they have made him to be this awful human being is it's not subtle, but it's not egregious. And I kind of like that. I like it's just this slow notching and consistent. It's like doing small weights at the gym. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you're not lifting heavy. That consistent, slow, and small weight, eventually it's just going to pile on top of each other and you're going to get an even better result kind of thing. And I like that, you know? Like, he's just laying it on more and more. And it isn't... Because I hate when movies lay it on thick and it becomes too much. With anything, but especially like characters, because at a certain point it becomes like it feels like you're just forcing me to have this thought or idea. And a good movie, in my opinion, always does something in such a small and vague way that like you don't even notice that like you've developed an opinion that isn't necessarily yours and was influenced by the film and through a good writer.
You cheat me once too often, Post. You rely on...
I feel for you, brother, but if you still here after 20 minutes in the movie, I feel like it's becoming a little hard to feel bad for you, King. Like, get up, dust yourself off, maybe find your drawers, and get up out of there, champ.
I insist on buying my own food, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. All right. A little weird and oddly sexual. Oh, I think they rubbed dookie butter on them, was it? Oh, I thought it was like dog food. Oh, okay, yeah. If somebody shoved boo-boo in my mouth and then rubbed it all on me, I would spend the rest of my life trying to blow them up. I would strap a bomb to myself and destroy everything within like a block radius. Fuck a villain arc. I'm the arch villain now. Brother, I'm gonna need a little bit more than Henny. Like, I'm gonna need some of the strongest shit you got in the back right now. He rubbed dookie on me, and then he peed on me, brother. Please, just bring the bottle. They'd have to put me on suicide watch. Oh my goodness, the transition from this sort of dark and dismal back to this beautiful, bright, decadent red. Oh my goodness. Hard, bro. What do you mean? Just, don't talk to me, you fucking poor. Oh, just beautiful.
Gourmets don't belch.
Oh, on the contrary, they do. It shows that you are enjoying a meal. Not with your finger, Spangler.
I like this scene a lot because it is showing, I mean, we already knew that this dude was an absolute pig, but with this scene and the scene earlier when he was trying to read a French menu, it just drills home that he's an absolute pig, moron, and buffoon who wants to appear rich, decadent, and all of these other things when he isn't. And it shows, and I think what they're trying to convey is that like he is very much new money and Georgina is old money from what I'm assuming. Like he is someone who wants to appear as though he has always been around the finer things, but because he has never really been around this, and I'm assuming he's some sort of mob boss, so he has come into money recently and quite a bit of it, but he's an absolute moron who doesn't know this most simple of like, don't put your elbows on the fucking table kind of thing. Like he's a pig who is used to living in slop. But like he's too rich and pompous to realize it or even like do anything to correct it.
Are so close together that it just goes to show how eating and sex are related. Georgie's naughty bits are nicely related, huh?
He talks so much that he not even realizing that his bitch about to get took. Oh, his character is just to just be this pompous, moronic blowhard who just goes on and on and on about not knowing a goddamn thing about anything, but being absolutely confident in everything he says and just having the audacity to say it, that he's not even realizing that his girl is staring all the way over there at Dexter right now, just like not paying attention. Just, oh, like, bro, just like look over to the left. Notice someone outside of yourself for like 3 seconds in your life. But he wouldn't, because nothing outside of himself matters. Everything, he's just this big hedonist where everything is meant to be about his pleasure and like what makes him feel good. Ugh, man.
She's paying me attention, Georgie. Get Philly. In future, I want my table.
You just hit her in the hand.
Related, aren't they, Georgie? Especially when she's paying me attention, Georgie.
He is a terrible person in every single way. I think I do enjoy where movies aren't afraid to show the really despicable characters. I think that's why Pink Flamingos by John Waters is probably one of my favorite movies, is because it wields grossness and terrible people in such a way that it feels authentically these characters and not just some sort of shock value that is just being wielded around like, you know, a fire extinguisher and sprayed in any direction kind of thing. Am I crazy? Was she wearing a completely different outfit like a second ago? Like a scene ago, she was wearing a completely different outfit. Am I crazy? Oh, that goes hard. That's hard. Like, I didn't even notice that that was her. That's crazy. It caught me off guard that that was her. No, that's, wow, okay. I want to have some sort of commentary on this because things in movies, they're always intentional and stuff like that. But like, I think I need a little bit more to really give like some thoughts on this. But I do think it's so dope that like they had her like change outfits for this scene for like this sort of angelic, sort of pure. The set design for this movie is great. I would enjoy just watching scenes from this movie so far, just on in the background and have the time of my life. It's almost distracting how good the scenery is from the dialogue, like in a good way. Like every time the scene like changes to a new set, I'm always like taken aback and like trying to like process what I'm seeing. Like it's almost overwhelming, but like it's so nice. I love it. I think the white is supposed to represent like her being seen in like a very intimate setting, obviously, because bro's kind of a weirdo who just walked into the women's bathroom. But maybe it's like to showcase who I really am, and you're seeing like a very intimate, real part of me, as opposed to when I'm out in this dining area with my husband, the asshole, I have to do this sort of performance as his wife, as to compliment him. So like that's why I'm wearing red, or like that's why I present this way, as like this his wife. I am not who I actually am. I am an object that complements his existence, and her being in the bathroom, or that scene in the bathroom, represents sort of who she maybe actually is, and him seeing that in this very intimate way. Also, I love the red and just this very quiet, intense moment between these two strangers. It reminds me of In the Mood for Love, and that is one of my all-time favorite movies. But just, I love a scene where it's just like these two people who have crossed paths and are just breathing the same air in this just deeply personal way. You feel like you're intruding on a space but like you can't look away. Will they get together? What's going to happen? It's just so deeply personal, and there's just something about it, especially when it has like good music too. Oh my goodness. I don't possess the vocabulary to describe to you how much this scene just is impacting me and how much I love it. I wish I spoke another language so I can describe it better. This is the kind of moment where in like a romantic film after they've been married for like 10 years. They're like sitting, drinking coffee, looking out at the scenery, and they go, so when was the moment you fell in love with me? Like, when was the moment you knew? And then they'll describe this moment. I love a good scene like that.
Georgina, welcome.
And just like that, the music cuts out and the moment is gone. We're back to our lives now. You go sit at your table, I'll sit at mine, and we'll pretend whatever just happened didn't happen. Don't do this to my heart.
What the hell are you doing in here? Georgina? You've been in here for ages, Georgina. What are you doing?
What did she expect to happen? I'm quite confused why she wouldn't assume that her pompous, arrogant husband, who has been acting the entire movie as though he owns the restaurant, wouldn't just barge into the women's bathroom. This dork did, and he doesn't even literally own the restaurant.
I'm just having a quiet smoke.
Smoke?
Respectfully, she got them things on her. Bro, I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a damn how fine she is. I mean, hey, at least you got a few pumps of that sweet nectar. Go home, beat your shit, be done with it. You tasted forbidden fruit.
You know what they say about men who hang around ladies' lavatories?
The same thing they say about Poindexter over there.
They're asking to have their illusions shattered.
Yeah. You old. No illusion.
True. I've gone 30 years. I've yet to see a woman poop. They don't poop as far as I'm concerned.
For me, Georgie, eh? No stone's been left unturned. Eh?
Also love the juxtaposition of like how gentle and intimate she was with dude hanging in a stall watching versus like this ogre of a man kind of thing. Because obviously with Poindexter, it was like very much mutual, intimate, and consensual. But with him, it's all about his pleasure. He doesn't give a shit about her. She's just essentially like a gateway to get what he wants, which is, you know, pleasure at any means. Really interesting way to show the passage of time. I absolutely love that. New menu, new day. Absolutely love that. That's a very chef's kiss way to show the passage of time.
I think these Ethiopians like starving. You know, it keeps them slim and graceful.
God damn. All right. Okay. Already don't like him. Shit. You ain't gotta. God damn. Like, I guess they already long established at the beginning of the film that he is a pompous racist as well. You know, because you gotta hit all the isms if you really want to be a good villain.
You know, some of them Indians are well known for drinking their own pee. The same water would go round.
This level of racism he has just exuded this entire movie would be hilarious if it wasn't like a very serious scene and a part of his entire character. Ma'am, can you please not have him drop some dick off near my chicken tenders? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? I hope they don't plan to serve that. You don't know where her hand's been. I don't give a damn how rich she is. Imagine going to a spot where they pay like $500 a pop for a plate and you just got a random woman who just dipped her fingers into your soup twice. I love how dudes on the left looking at the chef like, what, are we gonna let her do that? Are we gonna serve that? Is that okay? Gross. And you just gonna let them fuck near my bagels? What do you mean? What if he get his juices or even her juices near like your food? This man has prided himself the entire movie on only caring about quality, like the finest, most beautiful dishes, and you gonna serve someone a cum covered rice cracker? Like, fuck you, man. Like, what is happening? Damn, he always seemed to find out where she at. Imagine how much of an asshole you have to be for everyone to be like, oh yeah, he deserves to get cheated on, and no one say anything. No one cares. It's like, yeah, he deserves every bit of this. You know what? Let her have a little happiness. She's married to that ogre. I know the dick ain't worth, I know it's not worth whatever potential repercussions that could accrue because your hair is still very much intact after it. He ain't ruined your makeup. You look like you just came out of the bathroom. I had poops that were more taxing on my body than the sex she just had. I just realized, does that man even speak English? They've kind of just hooked up through straight up body language. I love that they keep changing her outfit whenever she changes scenes. Did his change too? Absolutely love that.
You protect yourself, son, you need it. Innocence, that's what I had before I met Jules.
Leave that little lesbian boy alone. The fuck's wrong with you?
Right, I'll give you an education, my son. Oh, no. Now, you stand there and don't you move. Now, you watch this. No, wait.
Gross. I am uncomfortable with what I'm assuming is about to happen, and just, yeah. You know, like, I get it, like, you know, it's just to really show that, like, this man is just incredibly despicable in every conceivable way, and probably irredeemable. There's no character arc or development that is going to happen from him. He's just going to always be this way and die this way. But to also just, it's just also gross to include children in that kind of thing. It's low-key really pissing me off that they keep having sex near food. It's so gross. Hate it. Don't worry, baby. All I need is a minute and a half. What the fuck? It's crazy. I have lost all respect for this chef because, like, what do you mean you're just letting people get their funk near my food? Also, imagine risking your life for 2 minutes of sex. Not worth it, honestly. I forget the bat boss's name. I honestly just don't really care to even remember it. But, like, you can see that his influences have changed the restaurant subtly. It has become a lot more audacious and sort of like nouveau riche. Before, it was a lot more about the, like, quality of the food. But now it's like you see, like, these big, like, reefs and just, like, tables full of, like, decadence and stuff like that. That it's just, like, this very in-your-face way of saying that, like, he's got his grubby little mitts and everything, and, like, he's just decaying everything around him.
And next time I ask you to work for me, Mitchell, I'll be expecting you to chew someone's bollocks off on demand.
I doubt you pay him enough. Let's just be real.
Bolting placement feet, Eric Anthony. What's this?
What a dog shit toilet design. I do not want to have to look another grown man in the face while I pee. If I'm looking another grown man in the eye while my penis is out, I'm having the world's worst threesome.
Don't read at the table. You know, I've just been reading stuff to make your hair.
I love, he's a really good actor, the Poindexter dude. Don't know his name. He hasn't really said a whole lot of anything, and when he did talk so far, it was in French. But he has delivered quite a performance, because he has done quite a great job at, like, sort of leading. He has done a good job of really holding his own in scenes whenever he has been in one and done his character justice, and he has yet to really talk.
What's your name?
Michael.
Well, Michael. Oh, is that a Jewish name, Michael? Do you eat kosher?
Isn't Michael literally in the Bible? That's the name of an angel. Fucking moron.
The 3 miscarriages I've had so far have ruined my inside.
Georgina, that isn't true. Michael doesn't need to know that. Now drink up, Michael. Let's talk about you.
If I was pumping somebody raw, I would also like to know to make sure that she can't have a baby. That's some good information she just laid out for him, you know what I mean? So I think subtly she's just saying, hey, keep doing your thing. You know, don't worry. I'm gonna keep taking them. I'm enjoying the movie. I'm having a great time watching it, but like, and I think that's the interesting thing about a lot of like indie films is that like they don't necessarily have like a very strict hero's journey that you see in a lot of movies nowadays. Like, you know what I mean? Like every movie has kind of become sort of like this Marvel movie, and what I mean by that is like every movie has this very strict, no deviation style of like point A to Z storytelling, and it's become so formulaic that I almost can watch a lot of films on mute or even with my eyes closed and completely understand where the story will go and how it's going to end in a lot of ways. And it's always nice when I watch a film and I'm like, okay, so like where is the story going? You know what I mean? Like what's going to happen to these characters? What's the progression of the story? Because it's just nice. I enjoy a movie where it's just I can just watch and just like try to dissect everything that I'm seeing instead of getting bored and feeling my eyes glaze over as I like don't really want to do this anymore, because it's very difficult to try to dissect a plot where there's no depth to it.
Major came here, and Trelawney with his black lady friends who wore peaches in their hair.
I like that each day, and it's only been like since Thursday, so what, Friday, Saturday, I think today's Sunday, you have seen the scene change so drastically because of husbands just grubby mitts being deeper and deeper implanted in this space that he is obviously unwanted in.
No, just hoods.
You're getting very smart.
Oh, I also just noticed that he completely rearranged the restaurant now, that it has to be a group thing and not you can sit by yourself anymore.
Right, okay.
What a sad, pathetic, and weak man.
Ricky Boss is as safe as houses. He keeps a very clean kitchen. Go and see.
Your wife is getting plowed next to chicken. Like, I don't know what to tell you as far as like the cleanliness of this restaurant anymore, King.
Pay me? He doesn't pay me. He buys me meals and drinks.
Don't he give you no pocket money?
No.
Nothing for a tuna fish sandwich late at night or a bottle of gin?
I mean, meals and drinks not that bad, King. Don't like, I ain't got money like that. Like, the women I'm fucking need to be comfortable with meals and drinks.
Why can't we meet somewhere else?
No, that's impossible. It's better to do it under his nose. He'll never believe that I do it right under his nose.
I love that they're implying, because earlier in the movie, he was like, the gynecologist, I love your eyes, and she was like, oh, I love your penis. And in this scene, she's just like he's obviously falling for her, and she's just like, oh, this is just like some naughty thing I do to get back at my husband because I hate him. You're falling in love, and maybe at the end of the movie he's like, oh, you should marry me. Because I think what they're kind of implying as things go on is that like she's just as much as a terrible person as he is in a lot of ways, but like he's worse.
You blind bat. She doesn't have the shits every 5 minutes.
I felt like there was only one way that was going to go, and it wasn't well for her. Like, he deserved every bit of that to be hurt in that way, but like, this man is obviously a psychopath. But also, they've done such a good job of making him just this monstrous villain. Like, he has no redeemable qualities. There's nothing good about him. In every scene, he has made it his mission. This man can act his ass off. I might watch another movie with just his actor in it just cause. Because he has done a phenomenal... Like, he just stabbed a woman in the face with a fork. That's some next level villain shit. God damn. And he's about to sit down and have some lunch. That's like the Penguin style fucking evilry right there. Oh my god. I'm very curious how the hell this is going to transpire. Also, I like that it has gotten like less and less like decorative, and it's just kind of like a couple leaves, maybe a piece of cheese, maybe. I love that this French chef is just so dedicated to just making food that he is sending his young dishwasher to attend to this like couple who is having an affair. He's just like, I just want to serve food, bro.
Open your mouth. Come on, open it. take an interest in your food.
Oh, but leave him alone. We don't need to do this.
I respect this child's level of loyalty to absolute strangers.
Bring that for Pup.
What can you do? You only endanger yourself.
I'll only be gone.
Are you gonna go to the hospital butt naked? I don't think that's a good idea, especially to see a child. It's a little weird. They may arrest you, rightfully so. Hey kid, wake up. There's a naked woman here to see you.
It's what it is, a revenge killing, an affair of the heart, a crime passionnel. I want no evil gossip spread around about me. They are not going to save.
I low-key want to feel bad for this man because obviously he doesn't deserve to be murdered, but I feel like he should have had some level of self-preservation skills. The first time the husband, the mob boss, barged into the bathroom after they started to hook up, I would have never gone to that restaurant ever again.
Napoleon was keen on seafood. His favourite dish was oysters Florentine. It's amazing, isn't it? Churchill liked seafood. All the great generals were keen on seafood.
I like that he is slowly just decayed away and become even more evil as time has gone, and like the visuals in the restaurant with this deeper red but also becoming this sort of sea of depravity with no one else left but him to just sit and decay away with the limited amount of henchmen he still has left. He looks horrific and it's only gotten worse and worse.
I want you to kiss me. And then I want breakfast. Coffee and...
I think I've been kind of critical and difficult and hard on Georgina. Not throughout the movie, but like during those like two scenes where it's very obvious he like Michael wants a level of like intimacy. Like he doesn't just want to meet up in the back of the restaurant and pork. You know, he wants like some intimacy with her. And I think her actions, I just want to get back at my husband, or like a flight of fancy kind of thing, make her more of a bad person. And the scene is so difficult to sort of take in because it seemed like he wanted to get away from, stop sneaking around and get away from it. Like he wanted to confront Albert or whatever. And again, it was just, I feel like very much this fling for her. So it's almost like difficult for me to feel bad for her, but also it's hard for me to feel bad for him. And not that like you have to feel bad for these individuals necessarily, but like it is a very somber scene and just kind of like puts everything in perspective. Like this kind of just could have been avoided.
And I'd have to wipe it. After I finished, he...
Okay, alright, I'm back on Georgina's side. Like Albert's awful. He's terrible and gross.
If I didn't do it whilst he watched, then he'd insist on doing it himself. At least when I did it, it hurt less.
Oh my god, what a, I don't want to say like powerful, but like emotional scene of this woman just recounting the abuse, the sexual abuse that she has suffered at the hands of her husband to the corpse of her lover is so just, oh. This is probably one of the most impactful scenes I've seen in a movie. It's like, oh, how do you even process this? It's hard to almost sit through in a way.
All this must finish. Help me, Michael. Please.
Also think it is not necessarily lost on me that the undertones of religion that play in this movie, how the bathroom was all white and she would appear in all white in the bathroom scenes, and how the space that Albert inhabits is typically it's red like hell, and like the kitchen is where they would often like meet up to have sex and explore earthly pleasures, and you know, food is made and like, you know what I mean? But also like her lover being named Michael after an angel. Oh, and the boy singing. He's a choir boy essentially. It is not lost on me, and I think they did a really good job.
He might taste good. I'm sure he would taste good. What would taste best? His heart? His liver?
Has she gone like full Hannibal Lecter? That's an insane request.
But how can I know that he loved me if there were no witnesses?
If you loved him, that does not seem to be a very necessary question.
Yes, it does! Tell me what you know!
What I saw. What?
I think that's a very good point. I know she said she loved him, but I don't think she did. And through no fault of her own, maybe she isn't or wasn't necessarily capable of loving him. You know, people who are abused and have trauma and stuff like that, obviously it can feel very difficult to open up and expose some of the more difficult and heavy parts of yourself. But to like truly love someone, I think you need to be able to show them that level of vulnerability and those like darker parts of yourself. And she was unable to, again through no fault of her own, open up to Michael until he died, and he was no longer able to judge her. So maybe she didn't love him, but again, I don't think that's through any fault of her own. She's been through tremendous amounts of abuse.
The lovers always behave like that.
My parents behave like that.
I think she needs to convince herself in some way that they were in love and that this was love, because ultimately for her, at least in the beginning before he died, it wasn't about love. This was just a fling. This was just a fun thing to do. Like at one point she says, oh, Albert would never think that I would do this under her nose, because it was always about revenge for her, and her quest for revenge, though in a lot of ways justified because of the abuse she faced at the hands of Albert, because trauma can make you do terrible things. It can make you a terrible person, but I don't think it ultimately defines who you are as a person. You can do bad things because of trauma, but I don't think it makes you a bad person necessarily. But ultimately, I think she needs someone else to tell her that they were in love. She needs to feel and be told, yes, I love this man because he loved me. And if it is ultimately affirmed in her eyes, it will justify everything, because ultimately it was love. It was for love, and it was this deep and beautiful thing that can't be described or like told to anyone. It has to be felt. But ultimately, I don't think it was that. I think it was just a woman who is broken through no fault of her own, trying to in some way, somehow, get a little bit of revenge against this man who has done nothing but take and hurt her in every possible way.
There's £11,000. It's Michael's.
You robbed that man after he did, and now you asking this French man to cook up your ex-lover is crazy. I think also, and maybe I could be wrong, but ultimately, I think that also justifies my thoughts in that it was always about, in some way, trying to get back at Albert. It was never about any sort of like deep love or connection, which is, again, fine. I'm not blaming Georgina for having a sick, twisted mind at the hands of Albert. She is only what he has created, unfortunately. But I think Michael, as stupid as he is for not running in the opposite direction of her as soon as Albert bursted into the bathroom that one time, so like I can only blame Albert. I can only blame a wild animal like Albert only but so much, you know what I mean? And again, it doesn't justify Albert in any way, but again, evil men are going to do evil men shit. Like in the entire movie, he was never, it's not shocking that Albert killed a man or did something terrible. He was always just a wild animal, and he was just going to do wild animal shit. Ultimately, my point, it was never really about love. It was just always this, I hate Albert and I want to hurt him as much as he tries to hurt me, and Michael just ends up being some sort of victim. I was going to say, I think it's a bit odd that like this is the one day that he showed up without his crew, but also he has throughout past like week or so completely isolated himself. Like only Mitchell was kind of left anyway, and that like one other dude, but like everyone's against him now and he has no one in his corner. Now he's just kind of like an evil man who has to like be confronted with his actions. But also I do think it is interesting that this madman has driven absolutely everybody around him to this breaking point of, yeah, I will ruin my restaurant, I will ruin our reputation, and we will all be participants in this extravagant thing of cooking a dead man, as horrific and grotesque as that is, because he has completely brought all of us down to his level in some way, and that we are now all crazier having met and interacted with him. I have this habit now because of Marvel movies always like skimming through past the end credits of like a movie just to make sure I haven't like missed anything. But with that being said, I think just overall, just to get the rating out of the way, that was like a 7 or 8 film. The acting was phenomenal. Everyone played their part absolutely well. None of the dialogue or anything was like multi-layered, but I think this movie is a great example, is that like you don't always need like this very convoluted multi-layered plot point or dialogue that has like a lot of like double speak to tell a really good story or really show off what the medium of filmmaking is good for and can be. You know, like every scene was visually stunning with these like powerful color schemes and just absolutely beautiful. Like a lot of like, especially inside the restaurant, felt like being inside like a French palace or castle or whatever. And you know, all her outfits were beautiful, and especially like that last one in the final scene where she is dressed in all black after having that dialogue early film about death being black, being extra or charging more, and ended up killing her husband in that like sort of long bridal gown kind of thing. And it was just so well done. Like every aspect of this movie was just so phenomenal. Like I wouldn't necessarily say it is one of my favorite movies, but I definitely have learned quite a bit from this movie about like set design, you know, outfits, telling a story with just like scenery. I can see myself watching this movie on silent and just breaking down every scene and just trying to take in as much as I can from the movie. It is so well done, you know. And I really liked all the characters. Like all the evil shitty people were evil shitty people. Like it didn't try to go both ways with it. It was just really shitty. And again, like this is maybe a hill I'm going to die on. Even Georgina, she wasn't a good person. Like she was, obviously you sympathize with her due to her actions, but like how I sort of took everything was that like this woman and a lot of the other characters have been terrorized by this man to such a point that they have become just as psychopathic or sociopathic as he is. Because I don't think she actually loved Michael. She didn't love him. He was just a way to get back at him, and unfortunately he ended up becoming a casualty. But also she didn't love him so much so that like she had him cooked and eaten by her husband, or now ex-husband. And you would of course never actually do that with a loved one. You would never do something so heinous, because it is ultimately about how much everybody just detests, and I mean detests, Albert. He is a heinous, gross, and disgusting human being, and he deserved no redemption. In fact, he should have been the one cooked alive. But again, that's on my own little hill to die on, and I'm sticking with that one. You know, I think my favorite thing about the movie were the undertones of religion throughout the entire thing, like I pointed out earlier, with like the hell and like this decadent dining area of sin kind of thing, and like the greenery of the kitchen, and how every scene was really just, the story was in a good way carried by just how beautiful all the sets were, and the camera angle being filmed in this way that like you are in this dramatic fashion watching everything unfold, and you can do nothing to stop it in any way, any more than any of the characters who are living all of this can. You just have to watch it all play out. You have any more control over anything than Georgina had over Michael being killed. But also that scene where she is like retelling just the horrific abuse she has been through with this husband husband to the corpse of her lover is just so sad. It's just like such a like, wow, like this woman is just through and been through so much with this man, and she tried to get away, as she pointed out 4 times, but he just kept, like an abuser, he kept coming back, because it is ultimately about control and about like having this object, because he was just essentially a hedonist. He only wanted what made him feel good, what tasted good to him, blah blah blah. It was always about control and just being a despicable, awful human being to people in order to get what he wanted when he wanted it, kind of thing. I think that was such a good movie. Oh, and the soundtrack, like the soundtrack for this movie is so good. Like the sound, like the symphony aspect, the choir boy singing, like this angel singing softly as like horrific stuff happens, and it was so good. I said earlier you could watch it without the sound, but like you shouldn't. Like you need to watch it a once through with like some sound. Like the visuals and the sound of this movie are so good. I want to almost just watch it with my eyes closed and just hear the choir boy sing Pup or whatever his name is. I love a good like just indie film, honestly, especially to sort of like cleanse the palate of like all the sort of sameness of a lot of films nowadays, especially like more popular ones, which are fine, you know what I mean? But like I think, you know, not watching a popcorn film is always good. I never know how to end these, but I hope whatever I said or anything like that brought you some sort of entertainment or made you think in any way, or maybe even made you want to check out the film. I hope I brought you a little bit of excitement or anything like that. With that being said, peace.